All right, what were we talking about? Like ink stuff, right?
Yeah, we were. But
Yeah,
let me start recording.
yeah. No, I've like been recording a little bit.
All right, welcome to the JStudio podcast, episode 2, with yours truly, Jdance and Limit Efficient, aka Marty. How you doing?
I've been all right. A little tired, but it's what can you do?
So you said you had some questions for me, right?
Yeah, I had a few questions for you. Yeah. So like, what are you like working on right now?
Um, okay, so that's interesting. So at the current moment, I'm working on a map editor module.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah. I've heard about it. I haven't
we've
gotten into
talked
it
about
yet.
that. We've
Yeah.
talked about this in the past a little, but I'll reiterate over it. So what I've done is I've added, with objects, there's like handles to move the object.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've added that to the road node so far. I've added some indicators so you know how wide your road is going to be before you even bake it.
Oh,
Um,
that's actually
at some point,
cool.
At some point, I want to add add it so you can individually bake roads, so you're not having to rebake the entire map.
That's cool, actually.
Um, and then I also want to have a system where if you are baking the entire map, it figures out if the road actually needs to be rebaked or not.
Oh, okay. That
But
that's that's handy. Like I've had a couple maps where like the roads were the worst part because they would clip or the occasional
yeah.
one-turn shenanigans.
I've added like a separate console that like pops up in the background as you're playing the game. Eventually I want to allow command input so you can like have debug commands while playing the game.
Would that would that like save in the world file, or is that just for like debug stuff?
What?
Like you say that you so you can run debug commands. Would you have to like implement those commands in like the world, or I don't think I'm getting the point, right? Yeah.
It's just a standard commands. Like they may like some might be specialized for the editor, some might be specialized for single player, and some may work in the game globally.
Okay.
And these commands would just do whatever like stuff. Like what they do is not specific in any way.
Oh, okay.
Um, What and then later on, I'm adding coordinate based editing, so you can be a lot more exact. Um,
All right.
DeLeono, he was making, I believe he was putting stuff from unturned, like he was putting entire like unturned map, like cities and stuff, into VR chat. And what he would do, he would use the coordinate tool to copy the coordinates over to um his VR chat thing.
Wait, so somewhere there's a VR chat world of like Washington.
Yes, well, something. He did Paintball Arena, I believe, on
Okay.
VR. I don't know if you have a headset or not,
I do, yeah. I haven't really
like an
gotten in.
Oculus or
Yeah,
or
Quest
like a
2.
Vive. Oh, Quest 2. All right.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten too far into VR chat. I'm just not really the social type. I have played games like Pavlov and like Tabor. It's fun.
Yeah. And then the plan after I get this map editor module done, like this client side stuff done for making development easier, I'm trying to move on to making my actual game mode, which would be Conquest. Um,
What
and
happens in Conquest?
so it's gonna be like a lot like Battlefield. You're gonna be able to pick your squad. Like it's kind of I would like to base it off of like Battlefield's like Conquest mode, which is hence why it's called Conquest.
Okay.
But I wanna add like more building mechanics to it, really.
Okay, so
Because
kind.
in regular Battlefield it's a bit annoying to say the least.
Okay. So it's kind of so you're kind of basing this off of what's it called? I'm trying to find it in my Steam library. I bought it at some
I
point.
mean, I'm basing it off of Battlefield 1.
First, BattleBit.
Yeah, BattleBit is kind of similar, I suppose, yeah.
I don't know, like that sounds cool. I can see it, with how popular like how like Unturned and Rust Turned is, I can see Conquest becoming popular.
Well, like we had Unturned Six Siege, we had Unturned Strike, we had Blackout. Those all failed, and the problem with those was that people would only get on the server if there was other people on.
Yeah, that's kind of how
So
it
that
works.
creates kind of like a feedback loop kind of thing. So if no one else is on, you won't join.
Yeah.
But in order to get others to join, you have to join.
Mhm.
So I mean, that's where I found like the biggest flaw. Um, and like I know Nelson doesn't like this, but what I wanted to do was hide the player counts.
Okay.
Because if you don't know what the player count is, then you just have to join and see if there's people.
Okay, I can see how that can work, but then like once someone sees that no one's on, they're just gonna dip.
Yeah.
So,
But at least then now they're like going in at least, so they're actually joining the server for a brief period of time.
okay.
I mean,
I
and what I also wanted to do was have it so server uptime is like scheduled, right? So it's
okay.
only up like for like a few hours, like every other day or something.
Okay, so this is so
So like
like
if you want to play, you have to be there, you know?
yeah, actually
So like
I've
forces more people on at once.
yeah, more like organized event.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like event style, like and then like I want to do like some like unique activities during these events, blah blah. But
Yeah.
I also want to like just have it like kind of like plain vanilla conquest some of the time too.
Okay. That's I can that sounds pretty thought out.
Yeah, yeah.
Like and how long have you had the conquest concept?
Um, this concept kind of started maybe like half a year ago, and then like I started like actually like making the Discord and stuff for like for it like 4 months ago, and that's how Breakdown came to be. That I made JD2 JStudio Development Editor 2. I made it obsolete, and I started on the Breakdown project because I wanted a framework where I could build any game mode off of it, and Conquest would be that first game mode that I would build off of the Breakdown framework.
Okay. And if I'm right, there's a download link for the early versions of the what are you calling it now? The breakdown?
This is so for the editor tools, that's Breakdown that module,
Okay.
and under that is Breakdown that tools, which is like even more just globally used stuff.
All right.
So the
Is
tools library can be used in either modules or plugins. So a lot of my newer plugins, I'll use the breakdown that tools stuff to add either like plugin support to my plugins, so like plugins for plugins, or sometimes I like using it just because it has like a nice dependent system. So I like any errors I can just isolate to one class. It's a lot easier for me.
okay, okay. And like is it are you dead set on like the breakdown name or like
I'm dead set on that, and the name comes
okay.
from me debugging it. Because every single time when I debug it, I have a mental breakdown.
Oh, okay, okay. I get it.
So
Are,
it's
are,
named after what it causes
okay.
in
Side
people.
side note, are you doing okay?
Yeah, yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm just saying, like debugging something like this causes a mental breakdown in programmers. It's really annoying.
Okay.
Especially when you're working with like harmony patching or something.
Okay, okay. I'm just checking because that sounds a little traumatic.
Yeah, I'd say it's traumatic because I spent like a year trying to figure out how to add like net methods. So what happens is that there's a method on the server that you execute to send something to the client.
Okay.
If the client doesn't also have that same method, then they can't send data between each other, right?
Okay.
But because of how Nelson set up, I can't create my own methods to like send my own data between server and client. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to add methods on the server that could execute to bring up like different UIs on the client. So
Okay.
all of the UI could be handled mostly on the client, so the server wasn't having to do all that work.
Okay, okay, I get it.
Because right now, with let's say like the health UIs for plugins like Paradox HUD,
Mhm.
the server detects that health change and then tells the client to change it to a precise thing.
Oh, that sounds really resource intensive.
Whereas the health's already stored on the client, so the client should just manage that itself. The client should have to have the server tell it to do that. That's just completely stupid. So it's like servers acting as a middleman when it doesn't need to be there.
And would this give a would there be any effects on the user? Would that slow their game down at
Um,
all in this instance?
well, like so all everything that's used in the module will be separate and located in the modules folder, so it won't be touching any of the vanilla game. And
Okay.
those extra UIs and stuff I don't see as problematic personally. I mean, because that's how the vanilla UIs work at the current moment. So I'm doing it how Nelson would do it, or at least trying to stick to that.
Okay.
So what I'm coding, I try to stick to the Nelson philosophy of most stuff, but it is relatively hard. Nelson makes some of his code private, which means I cannot access it when I'm making modules. So I have to do these weird workarounds, and I personally don't like it.
Do you think you could ask Nelson, "Pretty please, could I see your private code?" Or is it very much so?
Well,
Very much
I
deep
can
down?
see it. I can see it. Like in the decompiler, I can see it. It's just a matter of doing the workaround to execute it or access it is really what's annoying. Um, but I've made requests in the past to make certain parts of the code public, so publicly accessible within my integrated development editor, so Visual Studio. And for some of the stuff, he seems to have done it, and other stuff, it's a bit iffy. He doesn't exactly want to do it because some of the stuff would be eventually reworked, and he doesn't want people to suddenly start using it, especially when
Okay.
it comes to server-side plugins, because plugins are more widely used than modules. So with modules, you can let some things slide because not as many people are using modules. I only know maybe at bare minimum 20 people that actively use a module. That's how small people using the module community is when in terms of who's using it.
Okay. And why is it small? Because it's just not convenient, or what's your take on that?
The thing, we started out with all server side stuff, and everyone's kind of stuck to that. We have Rocket Mod and Open Mod; those are frameworks specifically for server side. Um, Client side doesn't have that; it never received a framework.
Oh. Okay.
Nelson just gives you one starting point in the code, and everything just stems from it, and you have to make your own framework and all that. And that's what Breakdown is for me, is a framework to make modules that are both server and client side.
Okay. Okay. So you're kind of
So
your
it's like Minecraft mods where the mod has to be on the server and it has to be on the client, and they
okay.
don't affect the vanilla game code.
All right.
So in this case, Breakdown is kind of like my Forge in a way. Not
Okay.
exactly, but in a way.
As in
Forge is a lot more heavy on changing the actual base vanilla code.
okay. So Fabric,
Perhaps, or paper, or yeah,
one of the less
so,
intensive ones, but I get your point.
so something of that nature. I mean, I'm gonna get screamed at because I'm not changing the actual vanilla code. I'm using the system that Nelson provided to add additional code. So nothing is getting changed directly.
Have you gotten flack for with people thinking you're
I
changing stuff
haven't
directly?
gotten I have not gotten flack. We technically do it all the time on modules, on plugins. I do it myself using patching. So what we do is at runtime we change the code.
Okay.
So with C Sharp, it compiles to intermediate language, and then that's executed when the game is running. So when the game is running, we're able to change the IL code, intermediate language, at runtime to change it to whatever we want it to be.
Okay. Okay.
And that's the nice part about C Sharp is that you have intermediate language and the just-in-time compiler, so it's handling like the native stuff. So that's why .NET and C Sharp works so well on any platform, Mac, Linux, all that, because it's being handled by the just-in-time compiler thing.
Okay.
But so we change the vanilla code, but we do it at runtime. So we're not actually changing any of the files or any of that. So if you remove the module, there is no long-term effects to the vanilla code. It's still the same.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not very savvy on any of this, so thank you for like breaking it down. Pun intended.
Yeah, so like on with plugins, if you see something that like an error, like an exception that says like harmony in it,
Mhm.
many times it's either because someone made a mistake when trying to make edits to the vanilla code, or that vanilla code doesn't exist anymore that they're trying to access
Okay.
and manipulate.
So like that could happen with like with like plugins after like
Yeah.
a update.
Yes, but it's only plugins that use harmony patching that like change the vanilla code at runtime.
Okay. Oh wait, so like that was like in
And
that
there's only
period
certain plugins that do that.
and like so like in that period of time a couple years back when Rockamod was in like that like serious limbo, that was like a major concern, right? Because I remember seeing a bunch of like Harmony like command lines.
Um, I don't quite remember. I don't know if it was directly related to Rocket Mod at all, though.
No, I mean like I'm just using Rockamod as like an example when it was like unmaintained.
I know that Rocket Mod did not use Harmony.
Didn't?
No, Open Mod may have. Um, Open Mod might. I'd have to see. I feel like that's something that would happen with Open Mod.
All right. And what's open mod? I've never ran it on a server before.
Open Mod is basically Rocket Mod, but it's a lot more extensive.
Oh, okay. So it's just like nerd rocket mod.
Yeah, and with Open Mod, we use NuGet.
Yeah,
So
I've
you know,
get a little bit.
so it's basically a database of like C sharp libraries and stuff that you can use, right? So
Mhm.
that'd be those DLL files, those dynamic link libraries that you install for plugins, right? So instead of having to manually drag and drop the file, you just specify the NuGet package name, and it just automatically installs the plugin and keeps it updated too.
Okay.
So like OpenMod is great, but and I will get flack for this. I don't like OpenMod because it's not bare bones. It's not like it does a lot for you
S-
if you want it to.
So you don't like it because it does too much?
I don't like it because it uses best practices. I don't like it because it uses best practices.
And what's best practices?
So like using proper logging, configurations, environment variables, all that stuff that you never really use in like Rockemod or any of that. You don't bother.
Oh, okay. So it kind of it does too much and it could bog a server down.
Um, the
It's like
cases of it actually bogging a server down is quite limited,
oh,
but there has been evidence of a possible performance increase. Well, I mean decrease with OpenMod,
okay.
but um, as to how significant this actually is, I'm not quite too sure. And as server hosts start to use better CPUs on their servers and start providing more performance servers, like giving you the newest Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9, I don't believe that matters either way.
Okay, okay.
And in the end, like the performance decrease was not significant enough to really warrant people to stop using OpenMod.
Okay.
But the main reason why not everyone has transferred to OpenMod is because people want to stick with their old RocketMod plugins, which seemingly still work even though they're crappy. And a lot of plugin developers, since RocketMod also works on OpenMod, they'll just stick with RocketMod.
Could
Because
you guess
you can
why?
run OpenMod and RocketMod together. So people would, a lot of plugin developers would rather just make it on RocketMod, so that way it works with people using Rocket and OpenMod, and they don't have to care about it at all,
Okay. And is
instead
that
of actually making it on OpenMod.
so? Is that like is so? Is it an issue that people aren't or so it's an issue that it's become cross compatible?
It's an issue in the sense that the cross compatibility gives incentive to keep using RocketMod. RocketMod is old. It's maintained by Nelson, but it's only for but he only fixes like critical stuff. Whereas
Okay.
OpenMod, third party, if something needs to be fixed, it's fixed. Has better code practices, like some of the best code practices you could find. OpenMod, surprisingly, is part of the .NET Foundation.
And what would that be?
So the .NET Foundation is like just it's a giant list of projects based in .NET, which uses C Sharp,
Okay.
that that are popular
Oh,
and
okay.
curated by the .NET Foundation, by Microsoft, etc.
Oh, okay. All right. So it sounds like you don't really like Rocket Mod or like was it Open Mod you said?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind RocketMod. RocketMod works.
But it could be better.
It could be decently better, yes,
Okay, okay.
but I'm stubborn like those Uscript people. Like,
Okay.
you know Uscript, right?
Yeah. No, I don't.
So Uscript was an interpreted programming language that specifically made for unturned.
Oh, okay. I assumed you meant use for like Unity or something.
Yeah, no, no.
Oh,
But with Uscript, let's say Nelson added a new method that someone wants to execute.
all right.
So, like some new thing that people want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Uscript, you have to make a module in C Sharp to make make a way to use that code in Uscript. So Uscript is obsolete in the sense that you're not using any of the newer Nelson code.
Okay,
In
so
fact,
it's
some of the time you're actually using obsolete methods, and people don't know it because it doesn't mark it as obsolete in Uscript.
oh, okay.
And these people are stubborn. They don't want to move to C sharp. There's a Sarshane, I believe. He makes these like really giant like Uscript plugins, and well, he calls them plugins. I don't I don't believe, in my view, Uscript is not up doesn't have plugins. I call them scripts. It's
Oh,
interpreted, so it's not compiled. Any of the, so you can change Uscript code, save it, and then run it again in game without restarting the server.
that sounds kind of handy, but why would that
It's
be handy?
handy, but but that stuff's obsolete,
Oh,
and you can't do as much with it either way.
all right.
So I'm annoyed because they're trying to expand the bounds of a language that will forever be holding them back, and they're refusing to move to Rocket Mod to C Sharp, which is a high level programming language. It's used by so many companies. It's not just an unturned thing, C Sharp. It's not just a Unity thing, and people still refuse to go C Sharp and Rocket Mod.
So sorry that I'm going back to like the server thing. So could you make it? Could you allow C Sharp to like reload like plugins while server's running?
No,
Oh,
well,
okay.
no, because unloading libraries is practically impossible
Okay.
with the whole add domain thing. I don't. It's annoying. Like I said, you can dynamically change. You can at runtime you can change vanilla code, and you can actually change the code of other plugins. Like a plugin can change the code of other plugins at runtime, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just no, there's no proper way to inject the new code in and like replace it like at runtime like that. Just not. It's just not practical and not necessarily possible. I mean, yeah, you just can't do that
All right.
for sure. No, you can't.
Okay.
What was your other question? Because I know we've kind of gone from the breakdown module, so the conquest game mode, and then we went over to rocket mod, open mod, why you script is bad, all that. So
Yeah.
where we're at now, what questions do you have?
To kind of like just to put a bow on the open mod and rocket mod thing. What would you personally use?
Me?
Yes. Jdance.
I have a lot of respect for people that just use a regular module, so they don't even use a framework. So they have to do everything themselves. They have to make their own permission system, make their own configuration system, all that, chat color, all that they have to do themselves. So I have a lot of respect for people like that. Like Blazing Flame, we spoke to. We spoke to him. He didn't use rock mod. He didn't use open mod. He made his own module that was fit to his server on Created Warfare.
Okay. So
So I have respect for people that do that. But when I make plugins that are, when I make stuff that's only meant for server side, I'm going to use Rocket Mod most of the time so people are happy.
okay. So
But if it's my own thing that only I'm using, then I just put it on a module because it's just easier.
okay. Solid response. I get it. Uh, uh let's see. Was that was you just gave me like a breakdown of like server maintenance effectively. Not the
Yeah,
correct
and
term, but like you just injected so much shit in my brain.
what I just said, a lot of server owners still have yet to understand. Because, like, even you've been a server owner, you've been a server developer for
Yep.
a decent time, like
Uh,
unturned servers. I'm not talking like sysadmin, but
yeah.
you've been around in this kind of like in like maintaining servers for a long while, and like you didn't you likely did not understand the whole what happens behind the scenes thing.
I I knew enough to fix a mod when it broke,
Yeah, yeah,
but I didn't know what was going on, and that was nice to know.
and especially with plugins, like when you see an error, that's scary for
Oh no,
server owners.
oh no, it's terrifying because then like you gotta shut down your server and figure out what's going down, and that'll absolutely destroy your player account.
Yeah, like I have dealt with that so many times, and with plugin developers, like when I'm working on like on a server, like I was recently working on Remnant with Ace, and
How's
we
that
had
doing, by the way?
problems with a plugin. Oh, we started a new server again, obviously. But
We're gonna want to cut
like
that.
when we have an issue with plugins, even my own plugins, we have to restart the server to debug. There is no other way, because like even if we go onto a test server, we have to carry everything over to the test server and make the conditions all the same to see what breaks, right?
Yeah.
And even then, like that takes forever to do. So technically, it's still quicker to restart the server and debug on the main server that on an active server that all the players are on. It's still faster to debug on there, but it harms player morale and the player count.
Yeah, it does.
And it's scary. It's scary for server owners, scary for plugin developers that also have to help out on these servers. It's scary for the players. Like plugins, they're scary.
Oh yeah. I I remember one of the first servers I co-managed. Like I didn't properly run it. I just helped the back end shit. We installed like so many like janky old plugins that were old for the time. Mostly like the artificial regions where you could like set a safe zone instead of this, instead of that. So janky. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Quick question for you.
yeah, yeah.
You've been recording, right?
Yeah.
Good, because I had my microphone volume off,
Womp womp.
so it was only picking up you, unfortunately.
That's good because I should probably fix that right now. Since we're at kind of a pause point, which we can just like cut this out. We didn't do the clap thing.
No, how about I do that now?
Yep.
Did you hear that?
No.
Damn. I'm just gonna do. Okay, that'll work. Did you
No,
hear that?
I didn't. How about we just like say a certain word,
How about we do
or we just I don't know.
Did you hear that?
I heard that, but I have no clue what that
Okay,
was.
that'll work.
That'll work. Are we doing
It's distinct.
from now on?
Yo. I say
Okay.
it has to be something short. Can we do balls?
I was just gonna say like
All
podcast
right.
or something stupid.
No, because we said it at the beginning and during the introduction. Let's
Well,
just do. All right.
why not just
Three,
have that
two,
be the
one.
clap?
Balls.
Balls. That
Okay,
was,
that's good enough. We're good. All right, let's continue. You got any questions for me? Because I know a lot. I know a lot about this. I mean, I've been here for a long time, but like, I have the early access role, so I've been with this game for more than 10 years. Like, Jesus Christ, that's a long time.
and you've never gotten like tired or burnt out?
I've gotten burnt out before. I've went through phases where I played like Siege instead. After like when the game was released, like I didn't play again until like maybe like mid 2018.
Oh well.
So I took like a year hiatus and stuff. So,
I
but
you
for the
probably
most part, like I don't get like burnt out for like that long period of time. At least since 2019, 2018. You know, I've been sticking with it. Love the game.
I personally love Unturned, but you probably noticed that like huge hiatus I took. Like I was gone for
Unturned, yeah, like especially server management. Server management with Unturned, you get burnt out quick. Like
yeah.
I get burnt out from that. I'll stop doing that. Like not
It's
gonna lie, Ace, sometimes I need to like take like a week off on this because it's sucks.
I took like 3 years. Oops. Just a small little break. I mean, you tend to get tired after 3,000 hours.
The scary part is I would have probably like 70,000 hours if we included all the time I did doing development work. Like right now, my hours like aren't that much. They're probably like 30 something, right?
Okay.
They're not
Wait,
they're not that high.
thirty
Like
thousand hours?
1,000. Yeah,
30,000.
yeah,
That's low.
yeah. This is absurdly low. But if you take into account like all that time I spent on development,
You okay? Yeah, I can see
it's
you. That's
it
that's a
would be
lot.
a lie. It would be like 70,000. That's what annoys me is that like I can't see my hours in like Visual Studio, like my code editor or any of that. I only do unturned work most of the time when I'm developing Blender, SketchUp, any of that. Like if you counted the hours on that, it would be crazy. If you counted the hours, I was on just moderating the unturned Discord, like just being active on that Discord would be absurd. So like
And yet you're still here.
my hours doesn't really reflect my actual experience in the game, like my hours on Steam.
When is the last time you actually just ran vanilla unturned? Just look curious.
Probably never for like the past like 6 years.
Okay, fair enough.
Like I might have done it a few times on the preview branch just to test out features, but it wasn't for long and it wasn't me actually playing.
All right, fair enough. Vanilla unturned is quite dull, in my opinion. But, well, I'm thinking like PEI in Washington. Russia's fun.
To give you an idea, you know Molt. So
Yeah. Who?
Tyler Pope,
Oh.
Molten Mantra.
Oh, him. Yeah.
Yes, Smiley Just Games employee, community
Yeah.
manager, great guy,
Yeah.
love him.
Oh, cool.
Um, he only has 3,000 hours
Oh.
and only has 67 out of the 77 achievements.
Oh. I mean, like, to be
So
fair, the newer
you don't
achievements are like the
need
map-based ones.
you don't need all the items, you don't need all the hours, you don't need all the achievements to be someone that loves this game. In fact, you not having all that is actually better.
Why is that?
Um, like for Molt in this case, right?
Hmm.
Shows that you're not like wasting your life away either on the game.
Oh, I mean, during COVID, I absolutely was. But yeah, I get your point.
Let me look at my hours right now. Like, let me get an actual view of what my hours are.
Did I hear did I hear a zombie mode?
Uh-huh.
I swear I just heard like a zombie mode. Well, like the unturned like zombie like
Oh, I
mode.
have it so when I minimize tabs, it plays the zombie mode.
That's adorable.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. That's fun.
And then when I like compile my code, it makes like the unturned unboxing sound. Like, that's how dedicated I am to this game. It's like
Ah,
absurdly crazy. It's so stupid.
that's fun. That's
I
great.
just like I decompile the sound effects and I just like scatter them throughout the computer. Questions, come on. Don't leave me
Think.
bored here. Don't leave me bored here. Come on, come on.
All right.
Must got something for me. And like stuff about the unturned Discord, perhaps, like
I don't really
any of that.
pay.
Hit me.
I'm being honest. I don't really like. When did like I noticed one day that you were like talking in announcements. Like when did you become staff?
That's a good question. Um, let's see. Let me see when I was formally announced that I became a moderator. Um, I joined the staff team about a year ago in July.
Oh, so happy 1 year anniversary.
Then I was moderator for a little while. And let's see. Going. Then in March of this year, I became administrator.
Hmm. Sick. All right.
That's a huge jump.
It is. Like, is there a lot of staff, or is it just like you doing a good job?
Hmm?
Is there a lot of
So,
staff in the Discord, or is it just you doing a good job?
um, so on average, I think we have. Yeah, let me check. Gotta check. I go to members. We have 6 moderators. A lot of people have come and gone in the past. Some cat I don't know is the only moderator that's here from the original, like when the Discord was first created, basically.
Okay.
So I moderate with some cat I don't know and Kukoi Charles,
All
who
right.
typically jumps in the podcast once in a while and annoys.
Like last episode.
Yeah,
Yeah. But side note, are we gonna like throw that in the end as a bit, or are we not gonna include that at all?
I'm throwing that in the end for sure.
Like it's just like a cutoff of him just like yelling, "Welcome to the Turn Podcast."
Yeah. Well, I
Okay.
told him to end it off for us, and he did. So,
All right. Fair enough.
and I'm gonna add some bloopers from the last part where we like talked on,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm
That's
not
the
gonna leak too much,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so don't you worry.
the. Did you see the 2 files I uploaded?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah. The that second file. What the fuck is this featuring Charles? That's the extra bit.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you actually recorded that?
Yeah. I mean, like
All right. Well, I'll make sure not to.
yeah, you're gonna want to skim through that.
Yeah, I will definitely skim through them. Not
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah, and then think I have a third. Yeah, I have a third one that I'm not gonna release.
All right, good.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, like that jump on the unturned Discord, yikes.
yeah.
But on average, only 5 people vote. Like we have like a voting system. If we want to make a big change, we'll have to vote on it. And normally it's 2/3 of the community.
Hmm. Okay.
Well, of the moderation team. So right now I'm waiting for an extra vote so I can post a feedback form.
Okay. Is it for like features and stuff or?
Well, just like I need to know like what people on the Discord are doing. Are they here for modding? Are they here for memes? What are they here for?
Okay.
Like, and what's their opinion on the new Fred update? Exactly.
Okay.
All that.
Personally, I originally joined for the mapping stuff because I had no idea what I was doing. I still kind of don't,
Yeah.
but now I just lurk mostly in the memes channel.
And you know, I believe our moderator, what did they just say? Our moderator application is still open. If you like
Yep.
scroll somewhere and find it. So if
Okay.
you're willing to apply, like we only have 6 moderators. We're meant to have 8. 2 slots open right there for you.
All right. Um, it's an honor,
Like I'm
but
not.
I don't have the free time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like
But
if
if
it's
you know anybody that would like that's actually really passionate about the game and that would actually want to, be good to let them apply and see how it goes. You know.
yeah, I know multiple people. uh, You might want to cut this part. I know of multiple people. They're not for they're not a good fit, man.
Yeah, probably not.
It's they yeah nah. Eh, Anyways,
Like I've had some people ask me like, how do I apply to become moderator, right?
yeah.
And I just tell them applications are closed.
Oh,
Because I'm like, some of them I'm like,
I'm
not a good fit, you know?
yeah.
I mean,
Personally,
because,
if I were to get mod, I would absolutely I would start like admin abusing, like in the hit game Unturned. For real, for real.
well, actually, being administrator on the Unturned Discord, like, I'd say the main perk of it is that, I have the, I believe I have the ability to nuke the server.
Uh,
Alright?
uh,
But that's not the perk of it. That's not the perk of it. The
but
perk of it,
that's a threat. You're holding this hostage. Oh my god.
yeah, but the perk of it is that, like, if I can ask like somewhere like if I'm in like a certain Discord like something that Charles is doing or something, right?
Hmm.
Like I can ask him for admin because one, I have a reputation upkeep. If I nuke his server and if I do something wrong on someone else's server, then that affects my reputation on Unturned Official.
Okay.
And two, if I was gonna nuke a server, I would have nuked Unturned Official already. So like being
Thank
an
you for
administrator basically like requires me to be a good moderator everywhere else.
okay. I personally I
Because
would
otherwise I look like a fool and I shouldn't be moderator there if I'm doing a bad job elsewhere, nuking other
personally
people's servers or something.
I wouldn't put this in the podcast.
I
This
mean,
section
Molt knows of it, Nelson knows of it, probably that
of
like
your
administrators can nuke the server. It's not like
okay. Oh no, it just
it's not
it
something
doesn't
that's like
it
hidden.
doesn't in my opinion it doesn't look great for one of Unturned's like official moderator saying I can nuke the server whenever I want.
Well, it was. I wasn't implying that I'd ever do it, and I wasn't
Yeah, I
implying that
know,
I'd
I
nuke
know.
it whenever I'd want.
But like, people
I'm
on the
just
internet
saying,
be people on the
like,
internet.
it's possible. Would I do it? No. Why would I do it? I have no. Why would I want to do it? Is the main question. I have no incentive to ever do that. Although, no, no. If I include that in the podcast, someone's gonna go up to me and be like, "I'll pay you $200 if you do it." I bet someone's gonna tell me that or something, or it's gonna be like, "I bet I'll give you $200 to like leak some data or something," you know.
Oh no, they would absolutely.
I, but either way, I'm not gonna. I would never accept any of that. I mean, like I said, 10 years plus in the game. I don't feel like betraying it now.
Okay,
It's
so,
just not worth it.
solid. Okay, and it's you. The conversation we had about like server side stuff, that was actually like really informational. Like, if you could definitely make like a series of like server management, and that'd be so
Sure, but
hand.
I'm bad. I'm bad at the scripting of it.
Okay, but
Like right there, I just went just without a script, went through, talked about it. So much easier for me, and it's easy. It's easier when I have someone that I'm talking to about it.
okay, so boom, just like
So like,
one.
if someone needs to know like what's going on with servers, I'm just gonna refer to them to this part of the podcast.
Okay,
That's simple. I'm just gonna use this part of the podcast. So I could, I don't know, maybe I could make like a short.
no, just like create a separate YouTube video and just say this is clipped from the JStudio podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like
because
separate into shorts and stuff.
yeah,
Actually, that's what I
yeah,
should do with all the podcasts is like certain snippets, put in a short.
yep, yeah, probably should. Personally, I don't like shorts at all, but I can't deny the viewability, like how many views they get.
So valued. So valued. Also, I haven't seen any ads on shorts, have you?
I've seen multiple ads. It's just gotten less recently.
I haven't seen like actual ads like through like YouTube giving me ads. Like I've seen
Yeah,
like ads on shorts like sponsored stuff, but I
yeah, me
haven't seen
too.
like
The
YouTube ads.
oh shit, my trash can. I knocked it over. Fuck. Okay, it's better. No, I haven't seen any in a while, but yet again, I've been really just like anti-short recently. It's just I don't like the way it feels. I feel
No,
like,
it's odd. It's feeling TikToky. I don't like TikTok.
you know, it's just I feel I feel guilty and it doesn't feel good. It's like feel yucky, feel gross.
Ah. All right, hit me up with another question here.
All right. Let's see here. I feel like I feel like a lot of like a oh, how did you and Jack meet? Your little co-owner.
Hunter Six Siege.
Okay.
He was a player. Played it decent bit. Enjoyed it. Put him on staff. Then I realized, oh, he might be a good fit for community manager and community manager. Was he good at making announcements? Probably not. But he was good at communicating with people, so I didn't mind. And that's really how it happened. And then after Hunter Six Siege kind of fell, I mean, after Hunter Six Siege fell, I just, I don't know, stuck with him, you know? It's not like
Okay.
he was a valued member of the community then, now he's a valued friend. I mean, I wouldn't, there's nothing much to it. He's a good guy, you know?
Yeah. No, Jack's a good. He's a good soul. He's a jolly good lad.
The one part that I was always suspicious about was the guns. You
The
know?
the guns.
Like
Oh,
he's a gun enthusiast, but
he's American. What do you expect?
over time, like I realized like this whole thing like with the guns is that like there's history to the guns. There's
Hmm.
beauty in it. Like it's craftsmanship. It's just like the one main problem I have with guns at the current moment was that they kill people, you know?
They do.
That's essentially it. And but over time I've realized that like Jack holds it up to a different standard. And I've kind of embraced that really. I mean, like as a dem, like he changes my perspective, and I actually kind of like that about Jag.
That's actually kind of cool. 'Cause I hold a
It
similar.
is.
That's actually really cool. Yeah, I hold a similar perspective, and you put it in a way I haven't been able to explain it. I'm there for the history and the craftsmanship because, and also just like
Yeah,
I enjoy like mechanics, like like
yeah. Like there are people that like own AR-15s because they like AR, like they like the gun itself.
hmm
But like it come like to me, it comes down to if we eliminate this, then you're gonna be pissed because now your favorite hobby is just completely ruined.
yep,
But on the plus side, it's safer,
yep,
and on our negative side, Second Amendment.
true. And also
So
there's also the huge argument of like
it's
it's
complicated. Like
it
everyone
really
has
is.
mixed feelings about these weapons. So like I cannot take a side on it. It's really interesting to me that I cannot take a side on this.
Yep, that's ultimately the huge issue right now, and the huge thing, in my opinion, and a lot of people share this opinion as well. Making them illegal isn't gonna stop people from getting them.
No, no, likely not. Likely not. But
It's
like at the same time, like it kind of discourages.
it really
So
does.
you have to weigh it. You have to weigh it for sure.
And
Although, ask me another question.
ask you another question. You're getting bored.
Yeah, we suddenly went to
We s-
like
we
Dems and Republicans guns for an unturned thing.
yeah yeah. Oh,
But I feel like people will be interested in that part that we just
yeah,
said.
they would. It's not too political.
No, definitely not. Not in this case, no.
Yeah, and then there's gonna be that one comment that starts a war in the comment section.
Oh, that'll be enjoyable to see actually.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My money's on it never dying. It'll outlive us. It'll become a generational war forever and
I have
forever
my
and ever.
doubts about that. I have my doubts. Everything dies eventually.
It doesn't die. It evolves. Sometimes it evolves into a casket, but hey, whatever. What's your like? I'm gonna ask like I haven't really checked out the modding like the workshop community in a minute. What's your opinion of the Nordic Armory series?
Nordic Armory?
hmm
Um, I, among others, have cited balancing concerns. The style of the weapons is a little different in comparison to what I've seen in the past. I'm not sure if I quite like them. Um, I also find Nordic Armory to be sometimes like too like OP, too extensive almost. A lot of ID conflict. I really hope that gets resolved eventually. But
Oh,
I don't know.
uh,
There's a bunch of pros and cons to Nordic Armory. I don't know if it's like something that's worth asking a question on exactly, but it's
I mean, I don't know. I got a pretty good answer out of you.
yeah. So you got somewhat of an answer out of me on that.
See, I'm good at this. I can talk. Anyways, all right. Lightning round. What's your favorite mod? Go.
Um, easy hit, more farming mod. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
If you don't choose the more farming mod, you are crazy. Like a lot of people, they can't live without that mod. Every server normally has the more farming mod. You can
Yeah.
find it everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Solid response. It's great. And
Like
I
I bet you.
casually
Go ahead.
I casually check in and they recently he added like dog food. He added a bunch of stuff to it. Like he does like
Um,
he's been updating it since like 2017 and that's great.
yeah, he adds new items. He's redone the food and stuff, so like you can now like take bites out of it, and like the
Ser-
bites are visible. It's
Seriously?
crazy. Yeah, and like the banana, it shows the animation of you peeling the banana.
What?
It is crazy. He's gone all out on it. I love the more farming mod. and I bet you more than half of the servers in the community, since like basically 75% of them are modded, more than half of the servers in the community probably run more farming mod.
Damn. I'm right now. I'm looking at the workshop for it. Damn. He's got some really good example photos. Damn. I wish there were more non-Russian servers.
Was it
Huh?
last August? Last
Last August.
August when Buak came out.
Uh-huh.
Um, like, and this, I don't know if this was done before it, but the more farming mod was finally showcased in our community blog
Uh-huh.
by a Molt. And like Dog Food had a quote here actually, and if you don't mind, I'll be reading this out.
Go ahead.
So he said, "I am happy that this mod has been used by many unturned players for a long time. The more farming mod is made with a particular emphasis on the animation of food items. In other survival craft games, the food scenes are often simplified, but Unturned is able to realistically depict these scenes with animation and sound, which is a big attraction and my favorite part of the game. It's been some time since the release of the mod, and the amount of content has increased significantly. However, there are still many things I want to create, and I have numerous plans for what I'm envisioning. So updates for the mod will continue, albeit irregularly, as I move on." End quote. Dog Food.
Well said. There are fucking bees. What the hell?
Yes, like I said,
Damn.
albeit, like he said, albeit irregularly,
Yeah, it's been
he still
about
has numerous plans for it. He has numerous plans for it.
like for
And
there. You can count it like on one hand the amount of mods that have been maintained since 2017. Like it's not very common. Like this is just impressive.
did you know that Unturned has a speedrunning community?
What?
Yes.
What do they speedrun? Well, I mean, like besides like obviously unturned, like what specifically? Like,
Hmm?
what do they speedrun specifically? Like, just like doing achievement stuff? Hello?
Yes, like
Oh,
basically acquiring like the Shadow Stalker, like stuff like that.
okay, okay. And like, is there like a speedrun? Like, it's like speedrun.com, right?
I believe so. I mean I don't know my details about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
Also,
very
like what's been featured recently on like the blog posts and stuff has been questionable, I'd say.
the
I I suppose.
let me see.
Um
Oh my God, there's a tutorial percent.
yeah.
There's
Um yeah,
there.
there's a lot. There's a lot.
Let's see, someone's done it in 20 seconds. Excuse me.
The tutorial?
Yeah.
I have my doubts. It must have to do with the module.
I know.
I have
There's
my
the
doubts. I have my
There's
doubts, man.
I don't
You
know,
see,
man. There's
speedrun.com. Let me read this out. Tutorial percentage is the Pyro God at 26 months ago.
no, that's 6 months.
Is there an average? All right, wait.
Uh,
There's one with cheats. What's it with cheats?
oh my God.
With cheats, it's not even a second. It's just milliseconds.
It's like it's not. It's like so. It's pretty. It's not a second, but it's basically a second. It's like 33 milliseconds off. No, that's like 60. Sorry.
I mean, if I made a module, I could probably do it. Although I'm not. Let me see the rules. A timer must be shown on the screen at all times. We suggest you use live split. Um, no mods are allowed. So it's regular mods. Any macro that has not been given permission by the moderation team is not allowed. Do not modify game files. See that, like, am I able to add a module? Because that's not modifying, that's not modifying the game files themselves. You can play without Battle Eye. TAS is not, yeah, so it's, I don't know.
Wait. Okay, wait here. I found his submission. Let me.
Okay, so the start position is, player spawn. So in other words, the first frame when the map loads.
All right, here.
And
Watch
then
me.
what's,
I found it.
okay. You're screen recording, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. That swimming takes a long time. He needs to use wait, he can use that. There's like a sprint water bug. We can shave this. We can actually do this.
Uh-oh. Did he do it? Yeah, that's it. That's it.
There's a sprint water bug. You could cut that time swimming in like half,
Would that be considered cheating?
perhaps. No, because it's part of the game itself.
Let's review the.
I mean, I think
rules.
bugs are allowed. I mean, that was technically a bug going out of bounds, right?
Fair enough. Okay, okay. Let's see the rules real quick.
The rules are on player spawn, not first input. That's your start position, and the end position is when you've gotten the text, you've completed your basic training.
Okay.
No
Interesting.
dev tools or cheat commands are allowed.
Do you want to speed run the unturned?
I gotta know the rules more.
I mean, like that's it. This sounds
Like, but I don't know what they mean by.
abusable.
I don't know what they mean by game. Like, I don't know what they mean by dev tools. Can I make a module? Does that consider a dev tool?
I think so. Yeah.
This is confusing. Um, let's see.
I mean, it did.
Let's see what Mark
It did say no modules. Do not
took
modify.
someone 7 minutes to get the Mark II.
Yeah. Do not modify any game files. With cheats. What even? Wait. What's the Kaiser? Oh, is that like the sword thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Elver parkour.
Okay.
We could do this.
Oh, why is? Oh, I don't want that in my feed. I just got I got a borderline porn ad. Love this website. Okay. All right. I guess. Yeah. Would this be uploaded in a separate video? Still there?
Huh? Yeah. I'm just reading this. It's interesting. You scrap the gun to make a plate, and you go out of bounds. Huh.
You. I saw his clip for a second there. I saw like that segment in between, like in the wall. Could you possibly try and like walk on top of it in that like little?
No, no. Can't be done. So like flat colliders. No. No, that's impossible.
Okay, how'd you
As
water
someone
that?
who's been modding for a long while, that's not possible at all.
Okay, okay.
The sprint water thing, I don't know how to do. I just know that's a thing, and I'll make it faster. But I gotta like join their Discord and ask them, are modules allowed? You know,
I mean, it did say not to
because if the
modify your.
requirement, well, it's not the game files though; it's a module. And
I feel like
there's a cheats allowed version.
yeah, but that like what are you gonna do to like eat less than a second?
That's true. By the time, like, how do you stop the timer? Yeah, it's impossible. Never mind.
I'm like you could just set up a thing where like a module where it just teleports you the moment you.
Oh, what I was just gonna do was I was just gonna have it so it just shows the text for completing it early, so you don't
Oh,
even teleport. Because the requirement is that it just appears on screen. That's not too hard to trigger just by code.
uh,
It's not hard at all.
is this what you're gonna spend your Saturday doing?
No,
I mean,
God
like,
no, wasting my time.
it'd be funny having number one on the unturned cheats percent speedrun leaderboard.
It's not very popular leaderboard either, though.
It's still unturned history.
Is it?
I mean,
I'll be known in history for being
uh,
that guy. You know, just already.
I'm like at this point, it's just adding on to your resume.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
you're
I'm
not
known. I
you're well
think
known.
maybe.
I mean, like I mean, like when I server hosted, I didn't like I knew who you were kind of because of Jack, but like, oh, what the fuck? Sorry, my speak. Oh, hello. Sorry, lightning struck and my speakers yelled at me. Oh, 1 second. I need to go turn off their preamp. Okay, I'm back. I have those muted, by the way. Still there?
No, I'm dead.
Oh, well, that's been the JStudio podcast. Jdance is dead.
Oh, no, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Raise the coffin. I mean, I don't know. I've been decently well known.
Yeah. Like especially now, like when I was hosting in 2020, I was somewhat aware of your affiliation with Asics and his stuff.
Yeah,
Like, but that's mostly how I knew. Yet again, like I just for the longest time I only knew you because of like friends who have a friend.
yeah,
Yeah. I probably saw you in some of your like workshops. Like I definitely saw like your like the bring the clouds back or the
yeah.
that.
It has been an hour. I think
Has
we might have to finish off this podcast.
has it been an hour? It has been an hour. Huh.
Yes. Thank you all for watching the JStudio podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope it was informative.
And may
We hope
it,
you didn't skip through parts of it.
may Jack's soul rest.
We hope you're not Molt or Nelson.
I don't know what else.
If you are Molt or Nelson, please do not revoke my perms.
I am not affiliated with this individual whatsoever. Best of luck, sir.
Please disregard any points I made about being able to nuke a server.
What's a server?
Thank you. This was episode 2 of the JStudio podcast. depending on the timing, this might come out before the Blazing Flame one.
So
So it's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be 2 and then 1. So
could we just like
I'm not changing the number. We're just gonna say fuck it and just do it.
okay, like you should probably like edit like a little like just like in before you start, just like record yourself saying, "Hey, the stuff came up. We're gonna say episode 2. This is actually episode 1." Just do that.
No, it's just gonna be episode 2.
Okay.
I'll just use this part that we're talking about right now
Yep.
to
And yeah,
bring up
yeah,
that.
and that explains
Yeah.
why Jack's not here. He's canonically not here yet, or something.
Wait, where is Jack?
He went to lunch.
Loser.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, time to go. All right, podcast over. Time to go
Pause.
computer shopping again.
Podcast out.